Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage GM Product Management, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, Param Kahlon.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks to Inside Sales for having us here, for having Microsoft here. We're super excited to be a part of this, great community of sales professional and what people are trying to do with sales transactions. My name is Param Kahlon. I work at Microsoft. I'm responsible for Dynamics CRM product strategy and product direction. And I thought what I'd do today is tell you a little bit more about sort of what Microsoft is and what are we doing in the CRM product area. Many of you I know are maybe using a different CRM platform. Some of you are using our CRM platform. But sort of where we're going, what are we doing, what's our direction, and what are some of the things we're doing. In terms of the trends, we're seeing exactly sort of the same thing that most of the speakers talked about this morning. Sales is getting increasingly hard. There's more stakeholders you've got to sell to. Your customers have a lot more information. They do a lot more research. They're about 60, 70% through the buying cycle even before they've talked to a salesperson. So really, what are we really trying to do in a CRM system to be able to support some of those trends, some of the things that are happening in the product? So just a little bit, marketing stuff about our product. We've done tremendous improvements in the product over the last 3 to 4 years. So much so that some of the leading analysts are now calling us as the leaders in various Magic Quadrants, the various reports. The CRM magazines are calling us leaders across different categories. And all of that's great and humbling and is testament to some of the success that we're seeing in the marketplace. We're also a business within Microsoft that is being marked as one of the fastest growing businesses in the cloud. Last year, our cloud business grew 100% year over year. We've got more than 40,000 customers using the application today, more than 1 million users. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the things we're doing from a product perspective to drive the growth, to drive that orientation with the product. So if you look at kind of when we look at CRM, what are we looking at? We're looking at very traditionally, Salesforce automation, customer service, marketing. Those are some of the core things that are in the product. What we're also staying very firmly behind is you have to make the salesperson efficient. You have to make them productive, and you have to make them productive not in the CRM tool. You have to make them productive. You have to drive productivity in the tools that they spend their day in. They spend their day in emails. They spend their day in productivity tools like Word, like Office, right? You have to make sure the CRM is immersively available across all of those things, and that's what we're focused on. Also, how do you take what is CRM and personalize it so that you can kind of look at, what are the things that I want to drive as my salesperson? What are the products that I want to propose to my customers based on things that are relevant to my customers, based on interactions that they're trying to do? And more importantly, we're built on a platform that's extremely flexible so that you can change what you're trying to do. If every organization on the planet tried to sell the exact same way, tried to do customer service the exact same way, where is the differentiation? What is going to tell a company that's more successful from a company that's less successful? It's really the power is in the platform. How do you really make the platform there so that you can drive the kinds of things that you want the sales organization, the customer service organization to be able to drive? So I'll talk a little bit about some of the ways in which customers have leveraged our platform to drive things that are unique and personal to their specific needs. So if you look at consumer products industry, we've got customers like Heineken, like Pepsi. They're focused on driving retail sales execution with their channel. They're using our platform to drive things that a merchandiser has to do when they go to a store, to do order taking from the store, to be able to drive planogram compliance, promotions, and those kinds of things with our platform. Now, those are not things that we ship out of the box, but they're very easily able to extend it to meet the unique needs that they need to do to be able to make those kinds of things. We've also got companies like United Technologies, and ThyssenKrupp, elevator companies that are looking at the power of sensors and big data and predictive algorithms to be able to drive predictive survey so that they can ship the technician on site into the building, fix the elevator, even before somebody notices that there's something wrong with it. And they're doing that by getting lots of information from the sensors and being able to look at pattern matching and machine learning on that to be able to drive the predictive work order, the predictive field service based on that. We've got healthcare organizations like Dartmouth Hitchcock that are transforming healthcare, not just for themselves, but for the industry as a whole. We're going in the healthcare from a very sort of, visit-oriented model where every time I visit the physician, I pay for that, to an outcome-oriented care where, insurance companies are paying healthcare providers, care providers for an outcome, for treatment, not for the repeat visits that the patient is doing. And they're really leveraging the platform to really drive healthcare and patient care directly into their organizations. And we've got lots of such use cases across public sector, marketing organizations. We've got a very large sports club that is driving engagement with 450 million fans, at scale by targeting and creating unique segments using a big data platform. So how are we able to do that from a CRM perspective? The truth is, CRM systems don't do all of that. The reality is CRM systems are focused on driving interactions and driving operations and workflows, and you need a really good, robust CRM system to be able to do that, and that's what a CRM system can do, and that's what we drive. But we've got a lot of power outside of CRM through Microsoft, through our investments in big data, through our investments in Azure Cloud Platform. Microsoft as a company has invested $17 billion in building data centers around the world so that we're able to store trillions of transactions in data centers that we've got. We're driving all of that seamlessly, immersively into the platform. And then, through our investments in an intelligent cloud infrastructure, Microsoft invests in hiring, we want everybody here to know a little bit about data science. But the truth is, not every company on the planet can hire PhDs in data science to be able to drive intelligence into their business operations system. We're hiring those data scientists at scale and creating those machine learning models baked into the out-of-the-box application so that you can take those to drive predictive service. You can take those to drive cross-sell and upsell product recommendations. And now if you have a data scientist, you can really take and tweak your model and say, I'm really going to take that to the next level and really going to put something more specific into it. But we're really making sure that all of those things are truly immersed into that platform. Not only that, once you've got the intelligence, once you've got the capabilities into the CRM application, we want to make sure that we're able to drive productivity at its core so that you're making sure that whether you're working in whatever tool you're using, an email tool or Excel tool, you're able to drive that and you're able to take productivity, whether it's collaboration, whether it's document management, whether it's being able to track somebody's email and see what they're doing, and when they open the email, we're able to drive all of that communication directly into the platform, and then being able to drive core scenarios like intelligent social segmentation. These are things where you can say, well, now I'm able to use the social media not just to understand and get my share of voice against my competitor and how many mentions I've got in Twitter and Facebook, but I'm also able to try to get the analysis of what are really people intending to say. Was there a purchase intent in that tweet that just got posted with my product name in it? Well, if there was, how do I react to that at scale? How do I automatically take that and convert it into a rule so that it shows up as a lead into my CRM system? So those are the kinds of scales we're driving within the thing. I personally have been building CRM systems since about 16, 17 years. When we built CRM systems in the 2000s. I was at Siebel Systems. That product is long dead. It's been dead for 10 years. Sorry if anyone's using this. The system was completely focused on how do you actually get the rep, the customer service agent, off the phone with the customer as quickly as possible. It was really focused around call centers, was built around call handling times. How do we really get people off the phone with the customer? Well, then you fast forward a few years, you had social media, you had mobility, you had, the scale of the internet. companies started to say, well, that's not really correct. We really want to take the CRM system that we've got, which is a system of record, a database that we're storing transactions and activities and opportunities and cases. You want to drive engagement on that. You want to know every time your product is mentioned on the social media. You want to build a website to drive engagement, to get people to come to look at your knowledge site, to look at your marketing portal, and you want to track engagement based on that and target the right message and right thing to the customers. And that was really the evolution that happened. And really where we're going, and we've heard this in the morning as well, is really taking and driving intelligence on top of that systems of record, on top of that systems of engagement. So you're able to take at scale, what is stored from a CRM perspective, what is stored in the opportunity. You're able to measure engagement of what people are doing on your website, on your point of sale systems, across everything to drive intelligent decision making. And the reality is that each one of these pieces in isolation don't help an organization, don't help you achieve the outcome. You really need a combination of all of these three to be able to drive the right intelligence, the right outcome, the right decision making within the organization. So that's about systems of intelligence. Talk a little bit about sort of where we're going from a productivity perspective. So if you look at a salesperson, if you took a regular sales process, qualify, develop, propose, and close, they're not using a CRM system to drive that opportunity through. They're using a CRM system for part of it. They're spending a lot of their time in productivity tools. They're spending a lot of their time, on their phone, monitoring emails coming from prospects, converting them into leads. How do you know which lead, based on the content of the email, is ripe to be converted into, which email can be converted into a lead? How do you communicate with the person at the right point in time, leveraging some of the great work that Inside Sale is doing so you can find out, what's the right time, the right point to call the customer? How can you take, if you're meeting the customer, at the customer side, how do you do rich note-taking using OneNote so you can take pictures, you can draw sort of, what is the real customer requirement, and you can take that rich note and attach it to the CRM record directly within CRM. So when you go into CRM, everything from collaboration, from rich note-taking, from storing those documents regarding what they're doing is all immersively available directly within the application, so you can drive those kinds of things. One of the other things that we do is engagement at scale, and this is really leveraging big data. What can you do by leveraging data that's in CRM, marrying that with data that's coming from social media, big data, combining that with data that has nothing to do with CRM, weather data, for example, to be able to combine all of that data together, triangulate it, to be able to say, here is what is happening. We're getting a lot of intentions of purchase based on weather patterns, based on what people are doing from certain geography, to be able to build that engagement at scale with customers. So we've got a customer that I mentioned earlier, Real Madrid, a large fan. They have 450 million fans, and what they're doing is they're leveraging this platform to monitor what people are saying, all of their fans are saying about the club, about their players. If Ronaldo scores a goal, they've got an intelligence segment that's identified for Ronaldo fans based on the social media posts that those fans have done, to be able to say, I'm going to engage with all of these fans right now. I'm going to tell them Ronaldo just scored a goal, and I'm going to have them live this moment by sending them a video of how the goal was in real time. And if they click and watch the video, I'm going to send them another message asking them to buy a Ronaldo t-shirt. Right? That's how they're driving engagement. That's how, and all of that is done through automation, through rules, through the scale that you can provide a lot of value and start to engage with a lot of customers very quickly. One of the other things that we do is, we consume our own dog food. So we, as a product team, when we looked at sort of what we're trying to do from an engagement perspective, how do we build engagement with customers? We leverage our own product, which is building engagement with, that we tell our customers to build engagement with their customers. We use the same tools to publish things like Roadmap, right? So a Roadmap, which, is not a marketing document anymore, it is a CRM system which is exposed through our community site, through our portal site, so that anybody can type on your favorite search engine, Dynamics CRM Roadmap, will land up on a website that's powered through a CRM system, but it looks like a real website where you can take a look at everything that we're doing in the CRM system about a roadmap and the kind of things we're trying to do. So what I'm going to do now is maybe very quickly show you a little bit of the product. I know a lot of you haven't kind of seen Dynamics CRM. Some of you may be consumers of it, but kind of show you a little bit about what the product is and the capabilities that we're able to support within the application right now. So if you can switch to the screen. So here I'm in my email system, and one of the things you do is as soon as I receive an email, whether it's in the Outlook client, whether it's in the Outlook web access, whether it's in my phone, I basically identify automatically that I got an email from Alex. I know that Alex is a contact in my CRM system, so I'm very quickly able to understand I've got a few things that are happening with Alex already. I know Alex is an account. I've got a few opportunities happening with Alex. If I want to take this email that came from Alex and triage it and track it in CRM so that the rest of my account team, the rest of my opportunity team has access to what Alex is asking and what his desire is, I can just click a button and directly in my email system, make that engagement and drive that together within a CRM system. So this is, how we drive productivity directly, whether you're in CRM or outside of CRM. You're always working with customers. You're always driving productivity. You're always trying to make more that people can do. So I'm in a CRM application now. In the CRM system, of course, you can do everything like sales, track opportunities, and everything. One of the things I want to show you very quickly is I'm going to go into my opportunity screen, and I see my list of opportunities. The list of opportunities is great, and I can do a lot with this. Well, what if I want to, do some analysis on this and maybe make some mass changes based on, what my managers just asked me to do? I just heard some great news. We launched a new version of the product. That's really going to help me increase, sell certain opportunities. I want to go ahead and do some analysis and say what that does to that. So we can always take everything that's in CRM, and we can take it to Excel, and we can open it in Excel and do all the work in Excel. A lot of our end users gave us feedback and said, well, that's great, but a lot of time people sort of get confused. They're in CRM, they're in Excel. What does it mean? How does it get updated? So what we can also do is we can leverage things like Excel Online, where I can take the power of what is in Excel and with one click, just open Excel directly within my CRM application so that I've got the power of Excel directly within CRM. So I'm able to make those changes and have the Excel formulas, the Excel things that we've got to do, so we can start to make those changes directly in Excel. And here, for example, if I wanted to apply the Excel formula and make some quick changes, I'm able to click a quick button and make these mass changes and drive that based on that. So it's in a quick way for me to leverage, and I haven't left CRM. I'm still in CRM, and I can click one thing and I say, I'm back in CRM list, and I didn't make any changes here, so I'm okay to go back to CRM at any point in time. So this is kind of how we drive sort of engagement within that. And what I did was I accidentally clicked on one of the opportunities, so it took you to that. So I'm back in Excel. One of the other things we can do here is, within my opportunities, if I, for example, wanted to take these opportunities and open it in an existing Excel template. For example, I want to take all my list of opportunities, a select list of opportunities. I want to open them in an existing Excel template. I can do that as well. Maybe one of the other things I'll show you very quickly is I'll drill into one of the opportunities here, and I want to show you how we can take the power of predictive intelligence and machine learning and apply it to a salesperson that's working on this. One of the things we do is on the top you'd see we've got a business process right here that guides a new salesperson that joins the organization how to work my leads, my opportunities into the system. Now, this business process is very flexible. It's based on business rules, and you decide kind of what you want to do in there, how you want to drive the best practices process in there. So if I come in here and I say, I'm going to try and give this person 20% discount, what it'll do is it'll immediately tell me, okay, you can give them 20% discount, but that's going to enforce a new step into your sales process. You're going to have to go get approval for giving that kind of discount. And I can say, well, that's fine. I'm not going to give them a discount. As soon as I do that, that step goes away. So I can drive the right behavior based on what I'm trying to do. One of the other things we do here is I've got certain products that I've got in my basket here that I'm trying to sell to this customer. I've built machine learning out of the box within the application so that we've got a predictive model that says customers like this that have bought this product are also likely to buy these other products. Now, this is something that is baked out of the box. You take the data that you have, your existing sales transaction, your historical patterns of what you've sold to customers, what types of customers, and it takes it and it makes those recommendations right out of the box. so you can drive those kinds of things very predictably within the application. And there's lots of such things we can do. One of the other things that I'd quickly show you is I'm here, within my Cortana, and Cortana is sort of telling me what's the weather right now and my flight for the day today. But I can use Cortana here to basically start to get some information about CRM as well. If I've got a meeting coming in, if I had a change in my pipeline, I've got Cortana pulling in and telling me information about my CRM system, the things that I'm trying to do. And all of that is available, within a mobile application as well. So you can take the mobile application on your favorite, tablet, iPad, Android tablet, or a phone, iPhone, Android tablet, or a Windows phone or Windows tablet, and start to do, various things like that. I can look at the same opportunity that I looked at earlier, and I can, get a very different visual, that's tuned to how I want to look at, things from a mobile perspective. I can say the same sort of project suggestions that we looked at earlier are available here as well. I've also got the ability to take documents and look at my documents, which are stored in SharePoint or stored in any of the data repository, OneDrive for Business, and I can see them directly in here. And using an iPhone, I can be able to move these applications together. So really making it immersively available to drive the workflow that a salesperson is able to do with the insights that the salesperson is about to do. So with that, I'm going to go back and tell you a little bit about some of the things that we're focused on from a product perspective. As we looked at the mobile application, we looked at how we can use the mobile app to drive productivity, to drive working with documents. We also make sure that if you take this mobile application to a place where you do not have network, we have complete offline capabilities so that your data is always available, your application is always continuing to work. You can make changes, and when you come back and synchronize into the network, it automatically syncs the changes that happen in the server and the client to be able to do those kinds of things. If we can go back to the slides, the mobile application is also can be securely managed using various mobile device management vendors. We also support mobile application management, which basically means that access to the application, securing the data on the application, wiping the data on the applications are all directly managed within that thing. We've done in the last release, we've done a lot of work around driving end-to-end service management application as well. We were already able to do case management and customer service transactions. We've taken that to the next level. So now we can do things that can manage, all the way integration with IoT to driving field service within the application to actually managing that as a project. So a lot of your leads, your best salespeople are actually your field service people because they have the best relationship. They're helping solve the real problems. How do you take the power of what field service folks are doing and driving that into an opportunity or a project that can lead to more revenue? In just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the things we're doing from an investment perspective. And I've got slides, that will quickly talk about some of these things. So the workflow process that we looked at earlier that sort of drives the chevron on top of the screen, we're going to make it extremely easy. It's easy to make, drive that thing. We're going to make it extremely easy so you can use drag and drop interface to drive that business process. We're going to make intelligence directly into that so you can look at, what are the kinds of things that you want to drive when an opportunity moves to a certain stage, and then being able to drive analytics in place so that if you've sat in a particular place for an opportunity for too long, it can drive the right behavior. It can tell you, here's the things that you can do to move that opportunity to the next stage. Another investment that we're making is really around customer insights or customer 360. And this is really leveraging the power of the platform. If you look at sort of how do I really engage with the customers? How do I really get to know my customers? Traditionally we always said, well, I've got a CRM system that tells me my activities and what I'm doing. But really, is that all you need to really understand your customers? Because the true capability of what a customer is doing is coming from so many different sources that you have. Those are external data sources that you may be subscribing to. Those could be internal data sources based on web clicks. Those could be based on sources of your partners, retail store visits if you're in a retail industry. How do you take all of that data, triangulate it with data that's in CRM system, that's in your Exchange, in your email system, that's in IoT, to be able to create a customer graph, so you're able to create a customer 360, a customer insights, and not only get a view of the customer, but also drive intelligence on top of that big data, on top of that real insights that you're collecting from data across the big data. And we do that not in CRM. We do that in a big data store that's stored in the Azure stack, that is built, baked out of the box to be able to pull that large data from CRM, but also everything else, your ERP system, your website tracking system, your IoT systems, everything that you've got to be able to do that at scale. One of the things we also hear, so we're good in reporting. We do a lot of good stuff with Power BI. You're able to do a lot of cool stuff with reporting out of CRM. We also hear a customer saying, well, that's great. I really want to be able to do that reporting to marry the data that's in CRM with the data that's in my financials, so data that's in my order management system, so data that's somewhere else, and I really want to do it at scale. So we're going to give our online customers the ability to take EDW, to extract data from CRM into an EDW, so you can start to marry that data at scale and be able to do all the kinds of transformations and OLAPs and data cubes and everything that you want to be able to do from a scale perspective to get that reporting and get that thing. And that's also coming to the power of visualization capability that we have through Power BI. Another thing that we're focused on is if you look at CRM systems are good for tracking stakeholders, business process, opportunities, and all of that, and great from that perspective. If you look at Office, which is where all the communication and collaboration happens, and Office has a lot of rich information about the graph that tells us who is connected to whom, who's looked at what, who's emailing that so many times. Well, what if you married the two systems together, right, to be able to collate and triangulate information in CRM with the information in Exchange to be able to do things like, if I'm trying to reach a person at a company that I don't have any contacts in, but somebody else in my Exchange system, exchanges emails with them, maybe I can use them to build a connection and reach them. If I predict an opportunity score in my CRM to be 80%, but based on historical patterns, I can see that, an opportunities that are going to close at 80% have an activity level in Exchange, which says you're going to touch base with them, 3 times a week and have set 2 appointments, and that's a good chance we're closing that thing. There's a good chance you can use that data of an Exchange or past behavior to drive the right intentions into CRM to be able to drive those kinds of things. So really driving some of the core relationship intelligence scenarios directly into CRM based on that. And what we're truly excited about is the integration that we've done with Inside Sales, because I think there's so much power, so much productivity that our customers can gain from this integration into Inside Sales. And we have a product that is shipping right now that integrates some of the latest and greatest new innovation that we saw this morning. With Jared and team, we're working very closely, tied to the hip together, to make sure that not only are we innovating with the pace of innovation that Inside Sales is doing, but we're co-innovating and making changes into our product to match some of the visions and strategies that Inside Sales has taken as well. So we're super excited about that. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to having a lot more fruitful conversations with you for the rest of the day. Thank you.